Thank you, Cáithírí. Tánaiste, you will recall that we discussed recently in this House the need to accelerate the provision of enterprise centres and the development of workspace. Enterprise centres have been hugely important in the development of the rural economy, and as Minister English would know, in my own counties of Cavan and Monaghan, there has been a good development of enterprise centres, but we need further development, and we need to develop a new policy, particularly with a dedicated fund to establish such enterprise centres. Thank you, Cáithírí.
Deputy Smith for his question. Enterprise centres provide space and training for entrepreneurs, allowing them to work remotely, access training and network with other business leaders, helping them to scale internationally and attract small-scale FDI. There are a wide range of funding mechanisms available for these centres. To date, my department has provided funding of £250 million administered by Enterprise Ireland to assist the establishment of some 270 enterprise centres throughout Ireland. In 2022, an additional £5 million will be provided to community enterprise centres through the Regional Enterprise Innovation and Scoping Scheme. This scheme builds on existing regional initiatives and aims to grant aid projects which will improve the resilience and international competitiveness of enterprise in all regions. Substantial funding will also be made up to 2027 for regional enterprise projects, with funding from the European Regional Development Fund and the Shared Island Fund. Since 2017, Enterprise Ireland has administered departmental funding to 91 projects, totalling over £16 million under both the Regional Enterprise Development Fund and the Community Enterprise Centre schemes. A further £9 million in grants was administered through Enterprise Ireland for 95 enterprise centres, many of which have been negatively affected by COVID-19, to sustain their businesses, pivot and further develop their services, and continue to assist the development of our start-up companies and the provision of remote working spaces. A further £12 million in funding has been sanctioned to assist with the completion of projects under the Regional Enterprise Development Fund and Border Enterprise Development Fund for schemes that have been delayed or interrupted due to increased construction or construction-related costs. This fund is being administered through EI. Nationwide, there is a broad range of other hub-type facilities, both publicly and privately funded, including community enterprise centres and incubator and accelerators. These will be included by the National Hub Network Working Group in their mapping of a national network of remote working facilities. The Department of Rural and Community Development, which leads this mapping initiative, has also invested significantly in remote working infrastructure through Town and Village Renewal, Rural Development Fund and the LEADER programme, for example.
Thank you, Cáithírí. I thank Tánaiste for his reply. Tánaiste, I agree with you. There has been substantial funding provided for 20 years plus in relation to development enterprise centres. But you take the case of my own county, we've had good track record of the local authority developing workspace, developing enterprise centres and developing the sites, providing the services. Now, they can draw down financial assistance and grant aid towards development, but the local contribution is a very hefty demand on a local authority that has a low rates base. So there's need for a better funding model to ensure that the local authorities can continue to put in place such infrastructure. And thankfully, there are some international companies that started in my own county in literally the backyards of houses and in small enterprises that are international companies today. And there is a demand for workspace there. We all know that for a new start-up business, a 1 or 2 person operation, the provision of workspace is a huge demand cost-wise, and the provision of workspace can ensure that we continue to generate and create employment in our smaller towns and more rural areas. Thank you, Cáithírí.
Thanks very much, Deputy, and I accept the point that you're making, that for some local authorities, particularly those with low rate space, it can be difficult to find the co-funding that's available. And I think that's perhaps something we can examine under the Regional Enterprise Development Funds, because we'll have over 100 million over the next couple of years from that for regional enterprise development. Also, about 100 million has been invested in remote working hubs through the Department of Rural and Community Development. Just 9 million awarded last year through connected hubs. And I think I think they're very good investments. I visit a lot of them when I get around the country, and I'm keen to see them full and busy. They're not all full, by the way, and I would like to see them all full and busy so we can invest in some more.
Thank you, I'm thinking in particular space for manufacturing businesses. We have a good network of hubs, thankfully developed. Tánaiste, we need to to think and develop policy on an all-Ireland basis. Last week I arranged for the Oireachtas Committee on the Implementation of the Good Friday Agreement to meet Cavan and Monaghan County Councils with a presentation in relation to the development of Workspace Enterprise Centre, working with their neighbouring local authorities north of the border. Thankfully, the development of the all-Ireland economy has been phenomenal since the signing of the Good Friday Agreement in 1998. So we can drive forward the all-Ireland economy development if we have more collaboration between our statutory agencies north and south. And an area like Cavan Monaghan, that's in the central border area, should there be economic turbulence, we are vulnerable because we're the least developed part of the border region, and we need that extra incentive. The people will get up and do the work, and local entrepreneurs will create jobs, but they need that particular assistance to ensure that the necessary infrastructure and workspace is in place. Thank you, Oireachtas.
Thanks, Deputy. I think when it comes to property solutions, one of the things that's worked really well is the IDA's regional property programme. Building advanced factories, building advanced office blocks, which we can then take investors to see and get investment and jobs in much more quickly. And there's a whole programme of them across the country. You'll be familiar in your own county, in Cavan and also in Monaghan as well. There's an advanced building solution being developed. I think for Irish Indigenous companies, we can do more in that space as well. And again, I think perhaps funding under the regional enterprise plans is the best way to go there.